Hi everyone, my name is Bailey, and in today's video I'm creating a modern farmhouse. So I designed this for a family of 6. I think that you could easily make it for a family of 8 because of all the extra rooms that I added. I added a playroom, there's also a den, there's 2 separate living rooms in this house, and then the backyard is so huge. So if you want to make this an 8-sim family home, you can do so pretty easily. But I had a ton of fun making this. I know that this style is very popular right now. If you go on Pinterest, I can bet that when you search up house, the first thing that comes up is a modern farmhouse. So I know that they're very popular. I always see them on Pinterest and Twitter and literally everywhere, but I'm personally not much of a fan of them. I don't really like how they look. If you know me, you know that I hate all things modern. Well, for interiors, I do really like the modern look, but I just cannot pull it off in The Sims. I've never really built a modern home, so this is kind of a little bit out of my comfort zone. It's still pretty traditional. I think I have a very hard time mixing like rustic and traditional with modern, so I just really wanted to go out of my comfort zone. I've been trying to do different things and experiment with styles that I haven't done before on my channel, and there are tons that I haven't covered yet, so I have like a million build ideas right now. So I hope that you guys like it. It's definitely not something that I thought I would be good at, but I'm super happy with how it turned out. Right now we're just making the garage of the home look a little bit more realistic. I just added some terrain paint and used the terrain tools to make it look like it was a slope driveway. You can also do this with roof pieces if you really want to. There are like some different tricks to do this, but I did not make the garage a room on the inside. So you'll see on the inside once we get to it that there is no garage. It's just a fake garage door for the exterior because I thought it looked so pretty. I don't tend to add garages in my homes. I think on my channel I have one other build where I added a garage, at least one that I can think of. So I don't really tend to put them in my builds. They are usually a waste of space in The Sims 4 since we don't have cars. I'm not actually that mad about it. I know some people really want cars, but I personally could not care less about it. I mean, since we don't have open world, I feel like it wouldn't really add anything to the game. It would just be a waste of space, and especially for the lots in like Willow Creek, the starter home lots, there is no room for a garage or even a carport in those lots. So I don't know, it's not on my wish list. I know it is on a lot of people's wish list though, and I think it would be cool to like upgrade cars like in The Sims 3 Roaring Heights, I believe, and I know The Sims 2 had something similar. So maybe if they included some activities within the cars, like teaching your teen sim how to drive, that would be kind of fun, but I don't really care about cars that much. It doesn't interest me. Anyway, weird tangent. Right now we are doing the floor plan, and after this we will move on to the backyard. If you watch my videos, you might know that I have a process that I go through whenever I do my builds where I do the front of the home and like all the landscaping, and then I go directly to the back. That's normally what I do, but for this home I just wasn't feeling inspired for the backyard. It's really huge, so I ended up taking a break and working on the backyard the next day. So this build took me 2 days to do, which is not something that I like. I've mentioned this before because when I don't finish a build and I just walk away from it, I think about it constantly. I've literally had dreams about houses that I haven't finished and what I should include. It kind of stresses me out. So I am glad that I took a break from this build because I was a little bit more rejuvenated and I could add more detail, but also it did bother me a little bit. I decided to add a pool into the backyard just to fill some space, and I put this fence around it because I thought that this family had 2 young children, and I kind of thought that it would be realistic to add a fence, although if we're thinking about it super realistically, that fence is very easy to climb over, but it's The Sims, they can't hurt themselves, children can't die, thankfully. So I thought that the pool would be kind of cute. Off camera I did add the whale pool floaty that your Sims can get on, which I think that item is so gorgeous, and I didn't get to add a diving board, which kind of sucked because there wasn't enough room, but I think there are enough activities, especially for children in this backyard, to make Sims happy. I ended up adding, I think, both monkey bars and swings, and then there's some planter boxes, there's a dollhouse outside, there's just a lot for your Sims to do. There's also an easel, so I think I covered a lot of bases in this build, I try to include as many activities as possible into my builds because sometimes I think it's boring when your Sims don't have hobbies or they're not working on their skills. So I did add a lot of things. Like I said, I added a playroom, and there are just a bunch of other things throughout the home that I don't normally add into my builds. Right now though, we are moving on to the kitchen, and I was very inspired by a couple of photos that I've seen on Pinterest. Of course, I love Pinterest. I was seeing all these photos of kitchens with dark blue appliances, and I don't know, I just thought it was so beautiful. I didn't think that I would like anything like that. I tend to just use the silver appliances in every single one of my builds, but I saw the dark blue swatches and I just thought they were kind of cute. They're not actually as dark as I wanted them to be, but these were the best swatches that we had. I decided to go with a bunch of Parenthood for this kitchen. I thought it fit really well, and now we're just adding some backsplashes. So I go with some brick for 2 walls, and then I struggled a lot with the backsplash for the back wall, but I ended up going with a blue tile, and I think it all just ties together so well. After we get the wallpapers figured out, I move on to my favorite part of building, which is cluttering, especially when it comes to kitchens. I just think it's so fun to decorate kitchens. I also went with the, what would you call it, like a farmhouse sink? Is that what it's called? I thought that it really fit the overall theme of this house. I tried to make it a modern farmhouse on the inside as well. Like, I think I did pretty well on the exterior. I feel like it is definitely a modern farmhouse. I actually shared a picture on Twitter of the exterior, and people really liked it. I was shocked because a couple of builders that I really look up to and that make amazing builds, much better than mine, commented on that post and said that they really loved it. So I think the exterior is good, not to toot my own horn, but I did struggle a lot with the interior because I'm not super familiar with this style. I think it's very difficult to mesh like rustic country farmhouse with the modern style, so you'll have to let me know if I did this style justice. I also just wanted to give a quick hello to the people who have joined me in the past couple of days. I am really close to 5,000 subscribers. I cannot even believe that. Like, you guys are so sweet. I don't know what I did to deserve this, but I'm just really happy with how my channel is going so far, and talking to you guys is super great. I haven't been able to record for the past few days because my Wi-Fi was being weird, which wasn't actually that much of a problem because I do record and build without Wi-Fi. Like, all of that is possible if you're not connected to the internet, but I wasn't able to upload because I was just having issues for some reason. And then my house is being renovated, and I didn't want to like film when strangers were in my house because we had people take a couch that we had previously and move it, and then they brought a new one, and I have a big fear of people listening to me do my voiceovers. Now, once I edit them and upload them, I'm not really that scared of people watching them because I checked everything to make sure that I didn't stutter or say something stupid. But even when my parents are around, I don't like to record unless they're on the bottom floor of my house or the first floor, the ground floor. If you're English, I don't actually know what it's called in other countries, but I don't like anyone being on the same floor as me, and those are my parents. Those are people who know that I make YouTube videos, and I think they've watched at least a few of my videos, so those are people super close to me. So imagine how nervous I was. I actually sat down to record while there were random strangers in my house working on renovations, but I just couldn't force myself to do it. Usually when I do feel awkward about recording voiceovers, because it is a very awkward thing to talk to yourself for like 20 minutes straight, but I just power through it. I just start it, and once I get past the first couple of minutes, doing voiceovers is really easy. But I just kept thinking about these movers hearing me like rant about Eliza pancakes or talk about a jungle adventure plant, and I just wasn't ready for that, so I didn't have time to record for the past couple of days. But I did actually spend a little bit of time in Creator Sim. That's not something that I do ever. I think in the past year I've created like 2 Sims, so I don't really go into Creator Sim that often. I don't find it to be super fun, but the last couple of nights I've had a very strong urge to make Sims, so I've created I think 4 or 5 Sims. I did a makeover of one of my older Sims, which was super fun. I love giving giving my Sims makeovers. I think it's because a lot of people that I follow are starting save files, and I would love to start a save file eventually. I've talked about this before. I just don't think I'm ready yet. I'm not ready for a big project like that just yet. But last night I ended up making some Sims that I think would be really nice to include in my save file, this elusive save file that I keep talking about. It was really nice, especially because I build so often. I think I build at least once a day, or at least I try to, so it was nice to do something different in The Sims. Gameplay really isn't my thing, at least for now, so it was really fun to be able to go into Create a Sim and have a good time. Anyway, that rant was way longer than it should have been, but right now we are moving on to the playroom. I don't tend to include playrooms a lot in my builds because I don't usually build like really big homes like this, so I thought that it would be really fun, especially because this family does have 2 young children. I thought that this family was made up of 2 parents, a teen, and then 2 children. I didn't end up adding any toddler beds because I just thought it would be more fun to watch me create a kids room since we have so many more options for kids. Also, I don't like playing with toddlers. Whenever my Sims have babies, I immediately age them up to children because I do not want to deal with toddlers, especially toddler twins. One of the first Sims that I ever played with, or household that I ever played with, was the Betas. If you don't know, they're pre-mades that came with City Living, and the wife Jasminder is automatically pregnant when you open up your game, which I feel like they should do more. I think that was a really good storyline. I'm surprised they haven't done that for any other pre-mades, but she's pregnant when you start up your game, and I decided to play with the household. They have a really tiny apartment, and they ended up having twins, and it was a very bad experience. I think they were toddlers for half of a sim day before I aged them up because I could not handle it. Props to anyone who has done or even tried to complete the 100 baby challenge. It seems like one of the most difficult challenges in The Sims 4, at least that I know of. I thought about starting it one time, but I think I ended up turning it into a legacy or something because I just was not in the mood to have 7 children in my household. Speaking of which, I was wondering if you guys wanted to see a 100 baby challenge build. I've seen a couple of people do them and they look really fun because you have to find a way to cram in all of these toddler beds and kids beds and bassinets. It seems like it would be a really fun build to do, but also I don't like restricting myself, and I know that I would have to be on a budget. So if you have any input on that, please let me know. I don't know how many people are currently playing the 100 baby challenge, but it seems really popular, so I would love to do a build based off of it. Anyways, let's get back to talking about the build. So right now we are just finishing up with the first kid's bedroom. I thought that this kid was really into Mount Komorebi and snowboarding and all of that. I thought that they had a skier or a snowboarder that they really look up to, and I added the Void Critter bed because I just thought it was so cute. I really like the color scheme in that room, and I also thought it was fitting because this family is quite rich. They have a lot of money, so I think they travel a lot. And then this is the other kid's bedroom. I ended up adding a couple of activities. Of course, I added the toy chest, and then I added this activity table where you make crafts. I've never actually added that into any of my homes before, so I thought it was really fun. I also add a desk with a computer. I thought that the sim that sleeps here is definitely a gamer. They spend a lot of time playing video games. And then after we finish with this bedroom, we move on to the master bedroom. I actually do the teen's bedroom last, and the teen's bedroom is the biggest one in the house. I'm not sure how that came to be. Maybe they're a little bit spoiled. Maybe you can fit that into the storyline, or maybe even it's not a teen at all. Maybe like the mother's sister lives with them, something like that. You could get a little creative with it, but I really like this room a lot. I think the color scheme is so nice. We have this large window that I believe looks out onto a body of water. I'm not 100% sure, and if I build on the lot next to it, the view will be blocked. But for now, because my Newcrest is completely empty aside from this home, they have a really nice view. Newcrest is a really beautiful place, but I do avoid it whenever I'm making videos. I think this is the first build on my channel where I've actually built in Newcrest. I think I'm a little bit intimidated by the fact that it's completely empty. Also, I just think that screenshots look better when the houses are in actual neighborhoods. But maybe one day I'll actually get around to filling my Newcrest with all of my builds. I've never done that before, which is quite a shame because I've been playing The Sims for I think over 2 years at this point, and I've never really touched Newcrest. Kind of sad. I'll have to do that in the future. Right now though, we are working on the teen slash aunt slash guest bedroom. Again, it could really be for anyone that you want. It is a little bit feminine, but I think it could work for really anybody. I add some bookshelves from Realm of Magic, and then I use some paranormal furniture because I can't resist it. It's my favorite pack right now. A couple of days ago, I looked at the Paranormal Pack Create-A-Sim items for the very first time. I hadn't been spoiled by anybody. I made sure to not spoil myself, and I'm so obsessed with the Create-A-Sim items. They did an amazing job. I love the hairs, or I think there's one hair. I'm not sure how many hairs came with it. The dresses, the boots, the shorts, everything is just so lovely in that pack. It's right up my alley. We're finishing up this video though. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, a like would be very appreciated, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye!